Everyone close your eyes and imagine this. You are standing on a stage, much like this one. Hands sweating, legs shaking as the MC hands you the microphone. You have spent months upon months preparing for this short 5-minute speech. Yet, as you take the spotlight, something changes. Your confidence completely vanishes, and the nerves suddenly take over. Why does this happen? This is exactly how I felt around a year ago, delivering an awareness speech to neurodiversity to my local elementary school. This was something I had been looking forward to for a very long time. Yet as I got on stage, I didn't feel confident anymore, but scared. And I'm sure that you and most other people would feel this way. Now this could be for a number of reasons, whether it just being from simple stage fright or worrying that something embarrassing will happen. But the most common reason, according to recent research done by the Nine Road Business University and IE University, is the fear of failure, which affects over 40% of people. They're worried that if they mess up even a little bit, that they will make a fool of themselves. Now ask yourself this: have I ever felt this way before? It's totally normal if you have. Now here's the big question you might be asking yourself. Why? Why do people fear failure? Why is it so common to do so? How can I break this cycle, and how can I build resilience and push through my challenges? After getting through my own personal experiences and after seeing countless other people back down from failure, I thought this speech would be a good idea to address misconceptions about this topic, to learn about resilience and why it is important, and how you can build a growth mindset yourself. Throughout, I will take you through my own journey, from being scared on stage to being confident again. And my hope is by the end of this speech, you'll be able to overcome your fear of failure as well. Now, to get started on this journey, let us define exactly what failure is. Well, according to the dictionary, failure is often defined as the inability to achieve a desired outcome, a social concept of falling short of expectations, and it's usually considered the opposite of success. However, failure doesn't always look the same to everyone. For some people, it might mean not getting the dream job. For others, it's a missed opportunity, a broken relationship, or even a public mistake. This simple yet complex word of failure can evoke different reactions based on people's individual experiences. So, why do we fear failure so deeply? Well, there are several reasons this may be, one of which is social expectations. Nowadays, society often pressures us to meet certain standards, and falling short of those can feel like a loss of social acceptance. In addition, it has always been natural for humans to avoid failure as it protects us from loss and pain. However, the main reason why people are so scared is their own self-esteem and identity. These days, people associate failure with their own self-worth, fearing that a single mistake could define who they are completely. Now, you may be wondering why I'm telling you all this. Well, throughout my life and in various experiences, I've been afraid of failure for way too long. It affected my life greatly. Nowadays, however, I have overcome it now, and I would like to pass my knowledge off to you guys instead. Transitioning to my speech last year, when I first stepped up onto that crowd of elementary students, I was scared. I was scared because I didn't want to be seen as someone who couldn't handle it. I was afraid that my own self-worth would be questioned if I didn't deliver a perfect speech. It's completely natural to feel this way. But then, as I was about to give up and step back down and admit my defeat, I suddenly remembered something my parents had introduced me to before: growth mindset. Carol Dweck, an American child psychologist, coined this term of growth mindset because she noticed that students would be devastated by setbacks, ranging from overstudying from a test or exam to just something as simple as forgetting a pencil. Before my speech last year, I wanted to step back down and admit defeat. Instead, I remembered something my parents had said to me. Don't think of problems as setbacks. Instead, think of them as pathways to grow. So then I took a deep breath and I faced my fears. So you might be wondering exactly how you can build a growth mindset. Building one is a slow but very rewarding process. This means believing that in your mind that abilities and intelligence can be developed through hard work and learning. People with a growth mindset see failure as an opportunity to grow rather than a sign of limitation. If you're thinking thoughts such as, I'm not good at this yet, or I suck at this, that means your mindset is fixed and you think of problems as permanent. Next, see challenges as opportunities to grow. Instead of thinking of challenges as some sort of annoying hurdle or obstacle to overcome, ask yourself how you could grow from those challenges. And finally, but most importantly, you need to understand the power of yet. And with these simple steps, you should be able to overcome your fear of failure and build a growth mindset. However, growth mindset leads on to another very important aspect, which is resilience. And as I talked about earlier with the definition of failure, resilience can be multiple different things based on people's individual experiences. But for most people, resilience is the mental capacity to withstand or recover quickly from difficulties. It's the mental toughness that allows us to bounce back from failure and keep pushing forward despite the fear. During this particular speech I was making today, I was having a really hard time with my speech drafts. I wasn't turning them in on time, and I was worried that I was going to get kicked out. I didn't even know what I would tell my parents if that would happen. So one day, as I was stuck on yet another draft, I was again about to admit defeat. But I thought about all the work I'd put in so far. It had always been my dream to be a part of a TED Talk. I couldn't just give up now. So this thought gave me the mental toughness I needed to continue. So I reached out to Miss Espanola and Billy to help me with my speech. It gave me the confidence to tell myself, you can't give up now. Without their help, I wouldn't have been able to bounce back from the difficulties of writing this speech. Looking back on some of my other previous experiences, I have feared failure for way too long. Before I knew the idea about growth mindset, I lacked the much needed confidence I needed to persevere and have resilience, which affected me greatly throughout my life. Looking back on my speech last year, I realized that to overcome my fear, I had to change my perspective. Instead of seeing the speech as a test of my self-worth, I saw it as a chance to learn. I acknowledged my fear, but I didn't let it control me. I practiced self-compassion and took small but steady steps into building my confidence. Every stumble was a lesson, and every lesson made me stronger. Now everyone close your eyes and imagine this. You are standing on a stage, hands sweating, legs shaking as the MC hands you the microphone. You have spent months upon months preparing for this short 5-minute speech. Think positively. I can do this. I can't give up now. Then take a deep breath. Remember your progress and be proud of what you have achieved no matter the outcome. Remember, success builds our confidence, but failure is a part of being human. Thank you.